Hello, everyone. A very good morning, and welcome to another interesting session of the Unfiltered chat. So, we at Brainium foster innovation, and today we'll have an adequate insight into the realm of marketing, communication, and artificial intelligence, and what all these have the potential like in transforming businesses. So, as technology continues to advance, the world of marketing is also rapidly changing. One of the most significant developments in the recent years is the rise of artificial intelligence in the marketing. Artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize the way businesses market themselves. And it is already having a very significant impact in the market industry. So, before we start, let me tell you that we have some very exciting news to share, and we'll share it by the end of the session. So, please stay tuned by the end of the session. So coming back, we are always like we wonder that what is AI? Like what does artificial intelligence has to do in marketing, and how does artificial intelligence impact the marketing communication? And what is like how has AI emerged in marketing and communication? So today, to answer all these questions, we will be unveiled soon in this chat with Mr. Subrata Chatterji, the founder and CEO of Logiklu, a SaaS company empowered SMEs and sales enhancing software solutions. After 2.5 decades in Silicon Valley and having a rewarding career in global tech companies, what has triggered Mr. Subrata Chatterji to embark on entrepreneurial journey? Let's hear from him. So welcome, Mr. Subrata Chatterji.
Hi, Shreyashi. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Subrata Chatterji.
Well, it's
How are you
night
doing?
here.
It's better. Even over here, the weather is also getting better day by day. So I was just talking about Logiklu. So you possess a significant expertise in semiconductors. So what stimulated the transition from the semiconductor industry to your entrepreneurial journey in the software industry?
Okay, so there's two parts in that question. One is why entrepreneurial journey and why software. So
Okay.
every entrepreneur has his or her reasons to start. Mine was both the combination of personal and professional. So I was having a great career growth in semiconductors, but it was coming with a price, a high price. I was traveling a lot, Germany, Taiwan, mainly Europe and Asia. And so I was not being able to give enough time to my family. So that was one personal reason to ask the question, is this the right direction for me? And the second one, if one reaches a certain level of responsibility at a young age, then one faces a lot of other corporate challenges, like, it's not easy at a very young age to start, managing a big operation. And that comes with corporate politics and other things. So that again asked me the question that, is this something, it's leading to burnout? Is this something I would enjoy in the long run? So I think at that point, it kind of instilled the seed of thought. And then along with that, I think I gained enough confidence by that time to embark on an entrepreneurial journey. So this was the kind of personal part. The first two were personal, and this one was the professional drive. And when I thought of doing this, when I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug, I was clear about one thing, that I would have to do something with India, in particular, Kolkata. So as soon as I had made that decision, it was clear it's going to be software. So that is basically how I embarked on my entrepreneurial journey in the field of software. And it had to be also connected with my background, which is marketing in the tech industry. So naturally, the software had to be some kind of automation or process enhancement for marketing, sales, business development. So that's basically why I'm here.
Okay. So I can sense somehow, like somewhat of it. So you have an enigmatic experience in marketing, communication, and also technology. So can you shed some light on how these areas have evolved and how these three things are merging today in the business landscape?
Right. In terms of evolution, I think the biggest change was technology as an enabler. Lot of things are same fundamentally. The relationship between marketing and communication will never change because one molds the other. Um, I think I would describe marketing as a spectrum with analytics on one side and communication on the other. So we do a lot of analysis, we do a lot of research to understand the target audience, to understand the market demand, and then based on that, we shape the communication. So that
Yeah.
relationship will never change. But the way we accomplish it will change based on what tools are we using, what technologies are we using. So that's where the change came about. And so with technology, I think the most important aspect in the world of marketing and communication is data-driven decision making. I think in the past, it was based on a lot of assumption, gut feeling, and we had to wait for a long time to understand the results. Now, I think with all these different platforms, including social media, but digital platforms, I think there's a lot of data available to make the right decisions, to test the decisions and get feedback, interaction with target audience, which was not possible. Imagine a big hoarding. I mean, it's a one-way
Mm-hmm.
communication, right? But
Yeah.
today, with all these digital platforms, you can actually test the market real time. You can understand how people are reacting or not reacting, and accordingly fine
Absolutely.
tune the message. So now it's more dynamic. So I think that's how it evolved, and it's much more data driven and dynamic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we were talking about logic too. So coming back to logic too, I can obviously be sure that it's very close to your heart. So can you please tell me that what is logically all about?
Okay. So um, Logiclu is an integrated platform for lead generation and sales pipeline automation. The other word that is used for sales pipeline automation is indeed CRM. Um, it is close to my heart because it comes from experience in the field. So when I was on the other side of the fence, I realized that there is a lack of a simple tool for the end users. I think sometimes management gets enamored by the presentations, by the need to keep up with technology or the bells and whistles of a platform. But at the end of the day, the person who's going to use it day in and day out needs to gain from it. And I thought there was enough room for improvement in that area, though there were big traditional CRM tools available. They were expensive, not accessible to small and medium-sized companies. They were way too complex. I mean, it was an overkill for smaller companies. And so that experience and ground reality led me to think about Logiclu as a simpler yet powerful, affordable, mobile solution.
Okay. So I'm sure that's how and why Logic Loo happened. Is there any other reason behind it? Any specific thing you want to mention?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Any other reason for
I,
what?
I, for Logic Loo to happen to start your own venture? I mean, of course, the reasons you
No,
listed in your
I
previous
started
answer.
my venture a long time ago. Logiclu was not the
Okay.
first. So I
Okay. Okay.
started my entrepreneurial journey with other products, and they went through the life
Okay.
cycle. And as markets evolved, we either exited or we took it further. Logiklu existed for a long time as a lead analytics tool from websites.
Okay.
That existed for a long time, and companies in Silicon Valley were using it. What did not
Okay.
exist was the business opportunity management aspect, the sales pipeline management. So when we added that, then it became a wholesome, comprehensive solution that included both lead generation and management and the CRM part. So it was an evolution.
Okay. 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 So a success doesn't come without any hindrance. So what are the challenges you face in the entrepreneurial journey, starting Logiklu and other ventures as well?
There were quite a few. The biggest challenge was I was working at very big companies, well-funded semiconductor companies. So budget was not necessarily an issue. And when I started off on my own bootstrapped without, seeking help from VCs or loans or anything, I think the first challenge was how to drive it with, keeping it bootstrapped. So that is a very normal thing. You'll hear it from every entrepreneur. Other than that, I think we were entering a field where there are big players. It's a huge market indeed, but there are big players. So we had to make sure that it has to stand out. It has to be something that people will relate to. And that's why everywhere you'll see, we are stressing on the simplicity, because we think that has been a very old problem that has been overlooked, making CRM simple and usable. So that was a challenge, how to design the product in such a way that we can compete with these big players, The third one probably was, in my case, was also to make sure that we have the right team. It takes a lot of time, a lot of learning. There has to be the same wavelength. It's not just, it's a lot of different factors to basically create a team that works, So those were probably the top three challenges, I would say. I mean, I'm sure there are many, and as an entrepreneur, I have scars on my back, but these are probably the top ones.
Okay. Keeping it simple, it's really, really nice thing which you said, actually. It's really important sometimes to keep it just simple and user-friendly. So what is the significance of CRM, and how can CRM improve overall business efficiency, do you think?
So, Shriyashi, CRM is nothing new. It has been around for a long time in some avatar or the other. So when in the 70s, people started with some kind of data management for customers. So they were looking for a better way of managing data related to customers. Then in the 80s came contact management. They were looking for a way to manage all the contact information for all these customers. And then in the 90s, that more functions got added, and then CRM kind of as a module, as a solution, started surfacing. And then in the 2000s came basically the cloud version. So the same CRM that would be available as an on-site solution now became available on cloud, and that kind of took away all the maintenance, the infrastructure, use it anytime, anywhere, that concept. And then later on, right now, we are going through phases where you see deployment of AI technology in it, mobile version of CRM. So that's the evolution. Insofar as why is it important? Well, though the name suggests CRM, customer relationship management, it's a legacy. That's how it started. Today, if you look at CRM, it does much more. It actually is a critical component of any business. Let me explain. So customer relationship means relationship with the customer, right? Who's a customer? A person who has already purchased. But look at CRM. A big part of CRM is about the effort to convert a lead to a customer. So it's a pre-customer business process. So though we are stuck with the legacy term, customer relationship management, it is actually a business relationship management. So you see the evolution, you see the conversion, the journey of a lead to a prospect to a customer, and it's all happening right in front of your eyes in the CRM. You have better visibility. Management can make better decision. Management can see where the performance is lacking. So, strategic and team-oriented decisions can be made. So now CRM has become an integral part of the business automation, though it, as I said, though the terms customer seems to suggest it's a post-sales process, it's not. It's a pretty broad journey. So that's why I think it's extremely important for any size of a company to use CRM to gain more efficiency. Even if they have smaller team, they can do more with less. So it's not just for big companies, it's also for small companies to get more efficiency out of the scarce resources that they have.
Your answer actually probably have given a lot of clarity to a lot of people who are watching over here. So coming to, I think we are facing some internet issues from Mr. Chatterji's side. Hello, can you hear me, Mr. Chatterji?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was just saying that your answer gave a lot of clarity to many of the people who are listening us today. That how CRM is so efficient in making your business a success. So now that we were talking about marketing, communication, and artificial intelligence and in technology, so how do you define the relationship between marketing and communication within a business framework?
So I'll go back to what I told you about the spectrum. So I see marketing at one end of the marketing analytics, one end of the spectrum, and marketing communication at the other. So the relationship starts with, I would say, first of all, alignment of the objectives. So marketing sets the objectives, communication does not. Communication follows the objectives to mold the messages, to mold the communication. So I think the first relationship is alignment of objectives in crafting the messages. The next one would be, if I have to communicate, what are the things that I would need to know? The first and foremost thing I would need to know, who am I communicating with? So that would be the target audience, because every target audience will be approached with a different kind of message, right? So marketing provides that. Marketing provides communication with a better understanding of the target audience. Based on that understanding, then communication can mold, can craft the right message that can evoke desired impact. The other thing that communication needs from marketing is data. A lot of these decisions are based on data. It's not, communication strategies are not made in vacuum. We need a lot of data points to be able to know what should be the communication strategy that will work for a given audience, in a given place, at a given time, for a given scenario, and all those things, right? So I think that's another thing, that data-driven marketing helps communication with that. The other thing that we must remember, though it is sometimes overlooked, communication is not a one-way process. We go to the market with a certain message, but we need to see if it is working. If not, we have the ability to fine-tune it. And that's where marketing comes in as well, which we call the feedback loop. So marketing is able to get that information from the market by doing surveys, lots of different tools to use, And if that information is given to communication through that feedback loop, then communication will know what worked, what didn't, what should be tweaked, what should be left alone, and these kind of things. So the relationship of marketing and communication is part of the same flow, like I was describing to you. It's part of the same spectrum. It's a very, very important relationship in business development.
Absolutely, deeply correlated. So there are a few people who have joined us. Okay, so there is a comment I would like to take up. Jonathan Tay. Thank you, Jonathan, for commenting and joining our session today. I just repeat his question. So he's asking, first of all, he's saying that great insights across the evolution of CRM from on-premise to cloud and now with AI empowerment, a truly must-have for every organization. Do you have anything to say on his comment?
Yeah, I mean, he's right about that. The AI impact on marketing has just started. So I think we will see many more areas, but it really expedites some of the processes. It helps us to focus on more critical aspects of marketing, and a lot of data crunching can be now done by AI tools. So I think a lot of some of the marketing work that used to take longer and needed manual intervention will now be more automated. The automation started a long time ago, I agree with that, but AI is going to make it smarter. But I would say just one thing, because of who I am, that communication will still need a human touch. AI has to be perceived as a tool, as an enabler, not a human replacement.
Yeah.
Yes, if we go into the details, I don't know if we will have time, then I can tell you what will be replaced and what not. But the humanism will always be needed, because at the end of the day, Shiashi, you would rather buy from a human than from a robot.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Totally agree. So what makes a unified marketing and communication strategy so essential for a SaaS company?
Right. So in general, it has to be unified. But if you think about SaaS, you're talking totally online. Software as a service is totally online now. That's the popular mode, right? So what are we talking about now? Don't see you. Oh, you're back. For a moment, it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You got disconnected. Yeah, you can just continue.
Right. So I think it's real time, right? So it's extremely important that all the marketing efforts are. There's a lot of collaboration between the marketing effort and the communication effort, because you were talking about cohesiveness, you're talking about how we should work in unison and so on, right? So that's one thing.
Right.
The other thing is that think about how we do marketing these days. We are marketing across multiple channels, right? So if marketing and communication efforts are not united, then how would we ensure that we have a consistent message across all those different channels? And if we don't have a consistent message, then we fail to take advantage of an opportunity to build trust across all those channels. So marketing and communication will need to be united totally in crafting messages across all those channels. The other aspect of is, I think I already covered, which is the feedback loop. Feedback.
We're facing some internet issues.
The connection is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No issues.
Can
It
you
just
see me
happens.
and hear me
It's just
now?
part of the game. Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you and see you again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please tell me.
So that,
Yeah, the
and the
data
third
driven
thing
part.
would be,
Yeah.
and the third thing I think would be, I talked about consistent messaging. Now I'm talking about clear messaging. So
Right.
communication, as I told you in the beginning, cannot work in a vacuum, right? It has to have all the information needed to know
Mm-hmm.
how communication needs to craft a message, what should be the tone, what should be stressed, what should be subtle. These are finer details of communication, which requires some kind of a data-driven strategy. So if you have marketing and communication working together in a cohesive manner,
Mm-hmm.
then you can attain that.
Right. Right. So again, another comment I'd like to, Sugandh Chetri, she has asked a question. So question is, how can AI help to communicate more personally with potential customers? And what is the role of using data to predict their behavior and preferences?
Right. So that's a great field. AI has a huge contribution to that, predictive analytics. I'm going to answer that with a grain of salt. So I would say that it would take us to a level where we have much better understanding, because we can do much better data analysis to understand trends, behavioral analytics, which is done. I mean, even Logiklu does a lot of behavioral analytics on website. But I think all those efforts can be better with introduction of or deployment of AI. So we can look at consumer behavior, we can look at trends, we can look at changes in trend over a certain period of time to see if it's going
Mhm.
somewhere or it is just an unusual event. These are very difficult to do without AI. I mean, we try to do it with graphs and demand curves and all those things, but with AI, it will be much smarter. Um, but I think he also asked about how to relate. I think he used the
Yes,
word personal.
how
I think
communicate more personally with potential customers.
communication.
Yeah, with potential customers.
Right. So that's where I talk about the grain of salt. So AI can do a lot in terms of characterization. So AI will be
Mhm.
able to help if this is the behavioral pattern, if these are the trends, then this should be the message and so on. And that's really helpful to set a direction. But that does not always work to set a tone, a personal tone
Mm.
to connect with an individual. So I think we should bear in mind, and I'm not saying that we may not improve. Continually, AI will improve, and there will be better engagement with the at a personal level. But I still feel that the human emotion or emotional intelligence, as we call it, still has a different way of connecting with an individual. So I would, to what I told you earlier, that we should look at AI as a very powerful tool to enable us to do better, but not necessarily replace the emotional intelligence and the touch of humanism in our efforts to communicate at a personal level.
Absolutely. Actually, it's really nice that you're stressing on this like multiple times, because it's really important that we remember
Yes,
this, that AI is a tool
right,
and not a replacement definitely for humans.
right.
So another comment I would like to take up from Sudeshna De. Thank you, Sudeshna, for commenting. So she's asking that how has the integration of AI for extracting insights from customer data contributed to the improvement of marketing strategy and its overall performance?
Right. Um, so for the last 20 years or so, maybe even more, we were always making marketing strategies based on data. So that itself is not new. The field of marketing analytics is extremely important. And we used to do number crunching. We used to analyze data from different sources. And then we would look at the data and look at trends. We would make recommendations, like in my role, whether to invest in a particular technology or not, based on that marketing analysis. So the work has not changed. The need for data has not changed. The way humans make decision or proper decision has not changed. We would rather make an informed decision rather than uninformed decision. And to make an informed decision, we need data. But what has changed is the celerity with which we can get that data, the smartness with which we can do the analytics, the various levels, shades, grades that we can bring into the picture by using AI. It will take a lot of time and effort to do something that may potentially come close with a human effort. That will be like almost unimaginable. So therefore, it is helping to make those decisions, understand, craft marketing strategies. And then the other part of the question was performance. Well,
Yes.
I think I would put it in a different way. I would think it is driving performance, meaning it is giving
Mm-hmm.
us the inputs we need to perform better. But insofar as measuring performance is concerned, we have different tools, of course. AI can probably look at a bigger cross section of data and probably will help us see our performance in relation to more data sets. But the ability to see performance, even without AI, is pretty good, actually. I mean, I'm talking about LogicLoo. In LogicLoo, we show performance of salespeople, where they're falling in performance, where they're not. And that has been, I think, a requirement, right? So what I'm trying to say is that AI will expedite, AI will enhance, not necessarily AI is doing it for the first time. We used to do it, but not in a smart way, not, as I said, in all those shades and grades and so on. So I think that's how we should look. AI is just making us smarter.
Yeah. So next comment again, I'll pick up from Sudeshna Ganguly. Thank you, Sudeshna, for commenting. So she's asking that how has using technology made the marketing process more efficient and increased customer engagement?
Right. So, I think I would add one adjective before the word technology, digital technology. I think
Mm-hmm.
digital technology has brought us together in terms of
Yeah.
customer engagement. As I was
Mm-hmm.
telling you, I mean, we always wanted to engage with the customer. That's the job of marketing, advertising. You are trying to connect, you're trying to
Yep.
engage, you're trying to impact, you're trying to drive them
Mm-hmm.
to desired goals. But the process was different, whereby we did not get any feedback. We did not understand if it worked, and if it did, how it worked, and so on. So it was a lot of assumptions and very difficult to understand or pinpoint. Now, with digital technology, customer engagement is much more understandable, much more visible. So I'll give you simple examples. So you're trying to engage with a set of audience, your potential customers, let's say, or it could be customers as well.
Mm-hmm.
You do email marketing. So now you use email marketing.
Hello, Mr. Chatterjee. I am sorry, but I cannot hear you. Maybe we're just having some network issues. Thank you everyone who are commenting on our LinkedIn live session, and thank you everyone who are joining us. So today, as we were talking about customer experience and how basically I really like that Mr. Chatterjee today is pressing on the point that artificial intelligence is not here to replace human beings. I mean, that has been doing the rounds everywhere in every social media platform. I can see that how AI is making us go jobless, or how it will make us unemployed. But it is really not that way. It's the other way around. Actually, as he was mentioning in many of his answers, that AI is making us smarter, and AI is actually improving our performance rather than replacing us. So the last which we were like speaking was how it has increased customer engagement, how digital technology, digital marketing, actually, in other words, has
I'm
increased
sorry,
customer
I think I
engagement.
got dropped.
Yeah, no issues, Mr. Chatterjee. It just happens now and then. It's okay. So yeah,
Right. So
we were.
I was talking about
Okay.
the engagement and I was trying to give you
Yeah.
an example. So let's say
Yes.
you do an
Yes.
email marketing and you reach out to your customers, and the
Hmm.
email marketing platform will show you who opened because that
Okay.
analytics is available. It may even show
Okay.
you who clicked, but clicking by itself is not a good indicator of engagement.
Mr. Chatterjee, I'm sorry, but there is some network issue actually. I am unsure whether it's from my end or yours.
I don't know. I don't know what's
Okay.
going on.
No, we'll soon
Let
connect.
me complete the answer. So now you know
Yeah, so I
who
think
opened
Mr.
and who
Chatterjee is
clicked,
trying
but that's
to
not enough.
answer the question which was last asked, that how it is making more efficient and how the marketing process is becoming more efficient by digital technology and how it is increasing customer engagement. Definitely, how the part which I could hear that he is saying the email marketing where we know the data in the analytics. Sorry, we just got disconnected. Thank you everyone for staying connected with us. You were just looking into it. I hope Mr. Chatterjee, okay. Hello, can
Yeah,
you hear
can
me
you hear
back?
me? Can you see me? Okay.
I can hear
So
you
yeah,
and
I
see you
was telling
clearly
you
now.
that I was answering that question. So
Yeah,
email marketing gives you with gives you that information who opened, who clicked, but still you don't
yeah,
know how the customers engaged. But now you
yeah. It's just
oh
a very
God,
bad day for.
oh
So
God,
yeah, see,
it's
yeah,
a test. It's a test.
it's a test. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
heard.
so then if you know, so if you know what they did once they landed on the website through behavioral analytics, then you are
Mhm.
understanding what they are liking, not liking, their areas of interest, their levels of interest. So now you have
Yeah,
a better sense of engagement. So that's how
yeah.
technologies are helping you to take further in terms of customer engagement. And I gave this example to you by using Logiclu. So yeah, that's an
Hmm.
example.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. It's a very logical answer you gave actually. Like it can give us the data, but it's on the human beings again to perform on it and act upon it. So again, another comment I would like to take up from Shomadeep Mondal. Thank you, Shomadeep, for commenting. So Shomadeep is asking that how has technology enabled data-driven decision making influenced the strategic choices of business in general? So the data which we were just discussing on, like how has it influenced the strategic choices of businesses are making?
Right. I mean, business in general would naturally include a lot of things. So I'll touch upon a few.
Mhm.
For example, let's say you're trying to invest in promotion in a country, right? Before you do that, you need to understand if there is a demand for the product that you're going to introduce in that market. So by using technology, let's say you roll out the product online just as a test
Okay.
marketing scenario. And based on the platforms that you'll see, whether it's CRM, whether it's marketing automation, whether it's website analytics technology, all of these will provide enough data for you to see if there is enough demand from those countries. And then you make a strategic decision if this product is really suitable for that particular market instead of launching it and going, having rolled out a budget and then realizing that is not a great decision. So that is one way, advertising dollars to decide on. It could also be customer support. customer support is a great way of understanding if you are able to retain a customer. So you can look at data, look at their satisfaction, how fast we have responded to their queries, solved their problems, whether they have given a smiley. All of that put together, different data sets, gives you an indication whether we are going to be able to sustain, whether we are going to be able to retain that, or there is risk involved. If there is risk involved, then you can have people involved before something bad happens, right? So therefore, those kind of business decisions are all data driven. So you'll see that in marketing, you'll see that in finance, you'll see that in sales, in customer support. Because he asked about business in general, I thought, I'll give you a couple of examples. Yeah. So that's what I gave you, 2 examples. Yeah.
Okay. So, talking about the opportunities, marketing, communications, and in which data-driven marketing and digital technology is creating. So, let me ask you a question: how do marketing, communication, AI, and technology, digital technology, intersect and create a powerful growth opportunity for businesses?
Right. So I'll add AI to what I've already talked about, marketing and communication, because I already told you about those 2 working together. Now the question is, how does these 3 work together? So I've been mentioning this a lot, and I would still bring that up. Data-driven decisions. So we always needed data to make decisions. AI is making it much easier to analyze big sets of data very fast. I mean, unimaginably fast. Don't just, let's not just talk about generative AI, like content creation. AI is dealing with data in other fields. Look at what it's doing in health science. Look at how it can characterize a problem in the human body and help us to understand what could work. That's a lot of data analysis. So it's not just marketing. I mean, AI is changing a lot of data analysis. And now we are, of course, talking about marketing and communication. So I can't help but stress on the fact that data analysis is a big one. And once you're able to do good data analysis, effective data analysis in a very fast-paced way, then naturally you're able to make decisions, marketing decisions, communication decisions faster, right? You don't have to wait that long. So AI is making a lot of contribution there. There are, of course, concerns. So since you're talking about impact, I should talk about both positive and about negative. Let me take care of the positive first. And then in terms of content creation, I mean, this is what you typically hear about, right? ChatGPT is the new poster child of LinkedIn. Everybody is talking about it and so on. Though it is just one small part of AI, but that probably captured the imagination of a lot of people, and there are a lot of people talking about it. So you hear about that. But along those lines, AI is helping in content development. So that is, of course, impacting marketing and communication big time. Predictive analytics, we talked about that. It was more difficult to do predictive analytics without AI. Now it's much easier. So that has a big impact on marketing, communication. How do we communicate? How should we communicate later based on certain factors and so on? But there are some issues as well. You may have read about this concept of whether we will see a bias in AI. And if there is any bias in AI, then the result will taint it. So there is now a discussion about how do we ensure that the artificial intelligence, remember, artificial intelligence means it's constantly learning, right? It's constantly learning.
From you.
What if the data feed or their access to data or the way it has been taught, because it is dependent on the teaching. So what happens if there's a bias? Then the decisions won't be correct, tainted. So there's a concern about that. The other big concern is privacy laws. So with AI dealing with so much data, what happens, to personal privacy? And so we already had rules like GDPR in Europe. We had CCPA in California, all trying to protect the individual's privacy. And so with AI, where will it
I'm
end?
sorry, Mr.
So that is
Chatterji.
another question mark that people are asking. We are back.
Hello? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. It's
I
like
can
the
hear you.
system is teasing us.
It's, I think I read something long back that if you want to test somebody's patience, just give a slow internet connection to the person and leave him alone. So we qualified, definitely. We have qualified on that.
Right.
So
The last area would be
so
something that existed before, but I think it's not good, to be honest. That's chatbot. So I think if you go to some websites, you'll see that chatbots are not very meaningful. They can not take you beyond a certain level. So it's a waste of time. They give up and then will try to connect you to some. It's not great. But with AI, I think the quality of interaction of chatbots will improve greatly. And so then we can get more lead conversion, better exchange with the customer. So these are the top ones, I think. Are we disconnected again?
I think we got disconnected again. So it's so nice actually, Mr. Chatterjee, so precisely, is explaining how artificial intelligence is the driving force behind the improving, like how we'll improve the communication, the marketing strategies in any business, not only required in software, not only necessarily in software industry, but any industry to be said.
Yeah, I mean, I think I covered that through the various questions.
It's a bad day. But thank all of you who are there in the chat still. Yeah, whoever has joined us today and is still there with us. Thank you for your patience today.
So Hello? You were disconnected for a little while, so I didn't hear what you were saying before.
No, I was just talking to the audience. I was talking to the viewers that I just have like how precisely you were answering the questions and how much clarity you could give today by the end of the session to me and to everybody who is listening to us, that how much the communication and marketing is correlated, and coming, with AI in the picture, with like digital technology and digital marketing in the picture, it's just getting better. It's getting more easier and faster, definitely.
Right.
So we'll just wait for another few minutes. Hello, Mr. Chatterjee, can you hear me this time?
Yes, I can. Are you able to hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask you one last question. That apart from everything which we discussed today, I just wanted to know that what part logiklu is playing in in this emerging change and this data-driven technology, this digital marketing, and the emerging relationship between marketing, communication, and AI.
Right. Right. So what logiklu is trying to do is make it simpler and easier to close deals, to make decisions. So I think one of the most important parts
Can you hear me again?
Are we online? Are we online or getting?
We are.
I mean, Don't
We are
even
online. We
understand.
are live actually.
Are we?
Yeah, we are live. Yeah.
Okay.
I, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
so Logiclu, I think the first thing I would say is helping businesses to make data-driven decisions. So they're able to see in different ways. Let me mention a few. Of course, in terms of the deal flow. So we have created a very visual deal flow. So instead of
okay.
a lot of data crunching, data analysis, it's visual. How each deal is progressing from stage A to stage B, like discovery to presentation to
Okay.
negotiation. If it's visual, then it saves time. A picture is 1,000
Yeah.
words. So therefore, I think that is one of the goals, to make it very simple and easy to make decision and draw inferences. I'll give you another example. A lot of times management is not able to understand where there is a need for performance improvement by individual, by region, by product. And so we help in understanding that data so that the area that needs attention can be identified. The other part, of course, is with this digital transformation, there is increasing hunger for sales automation in developing countries, in any country that is.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Chatterjee.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So do you want
So
me to
I would
complete
really
that
like to,
answer?
yeah, I just wanted to say more, like the what
Okay,
you
so
were
one
about to
was
say about
that
logic.
visibility
Mm-hmm.
to help make decisions. The other one was automation. You need
Right.
automation to gain
Uh-huh.
higher levels of efficiency. So with the integration of lead and
Okay.
sales pipeline management, we help people do that. And the entire thing is
Mm-hmm.
streamlined. You're talking about different
Okay.
channels of marketing, and leads get coming in from different sources. You're talking about different people working on different opportunities, a lot of different factors. So we have streamlined
Right.
it. So I think
Okay.
data driven decisions, easy to understand the situation, automation to help saving time and effort, and a streamlined operation would be the four top ones.
Okay.
And of
That
course,
that's pretty.
affordability. And of course,
Yeah.
affordability, yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure that, I mean, like, I wish you all the success, Mr. Chatterjee, with Logic 2, definitely. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience, even
Thank you.
after this network issues which was there happening today. And it was really, really interesting. It was really very, I got a lot of clarity talking to you today regarding things which I really did not have much clarity. And I'm sure the viewers and listeners today has has the same message for you. And also, we have learned so much about how marketing, communication, AI, and digital technology, digital marketing today has such huge impact in the business solutions. So I wish you again a lot of good luck and all the best for Logiclu. Wish you a lot of success.
Thank you. Thank
Anything you
you.
would, anything you
We
want to say?
your viewers can connect with me if they have more questions. If they want to learn more about these three topics, they're welcome to connect with me. And it was great for me to be
Definitely.
here. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you, Brainium
You're
team.
welcome, Mr. Chatterjee. You're
Bye
welcome.
bye.
Bye. So that was Mr. Subrata Chatterjee, founder and CEO of Logiclu. Heard a lot about Logiclu today, spoke a lot about it, and it was really nice hearing from him. That and we have explored the convergence of marketing, communication, AI, and digital technology, as I was earlier saying, in today's business world. So now coming to the exciting news, which I mentioned that I'll be sharing by the end of the session. Thank you everyone who are still tuned with us. So Brainium Information Technology has recently launched their training wing named Brainium Academy. Through the Brainium Academy, we are trying to provide latest courses on software development and digital marketing with at the best price, basically. So Brainium Academy basically wants to aim the bridge the gap between your degree and the job skill which is required in the real professional world. to gain success as a software developer, as a digital marketing expert. So if you want to know more and if you want to succeed in your life, if you want to upskill yourself, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You can also visit us on brainiumacademy.com. And let's keep the conversation alive on marketing, communication, artificial intelligence, and digital marketing, and drive the innovation in our respective industry. Stay inspired, stay curious together, and let's make a positive impact on the world. Join us on this journey of progress and exploration as we pave the way for a brighter, more connected future. Until next time, follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. Thank you, everyone. Bye.